Hey everyone, Elizabeth, hope all is well. I've been really slow at uploading videos. I don't know if I mentioned this, but I probably did in videos many years ago. Like, one of my goals or dreams was to become a writer, and that did happen. I wrote for a lot of blogs and various fitness companies. I did my own self-publishing work. Things never really took off, and it's kind of funny how certain things in my life have just occurred completely different than what all of, the new age spiritual industry always preaches. And anyways, I was when I lived in Germany, I actually did present at a fitness conference in Greece. And so many, that was back in like 2015. So what are we talking, like 8 years later? I've not done writing pretty much a lot since 2016 and 17 because the industries, what happened is that the industry started letting people go like myself, who were fitness educated human beings who have, actual real life experience of working with people. And it started to go more toward the route of just getting the writership from medical doctors, registered dietitians, and physical therapists. And some of that is definitely necessary. But some of it is also kind of ridiculous because you think about a medical doctor, none of them learn anything about nutrition or exercise science. And so unless fitness and wellness is a part of their life, like sometimes you do have these orthopedics who are, runners or something themselves, everything started becoming more clinical. And a lot of my work within the fitness industry was actually trying to push more of the spiritual side of things. Like, you can't really explain why you feel good about certain stuff after like a Reiki or yoga session. Now, science has kind of evolved from there. Some of it has to do, yes, with these unexplainable spiritual changes and energy. But the industry has evolved to really start to understand how like things like yoga therapy and such have profound effects on the nervous system. And then when you start looking at types of music that are played that activate the beats per minute activate certain hertz in the brain. So anyways, I don't really want to go down a rabbit hole of that, but I was approached by somebody. I let all this shit go like in 2017. I was kind of emotionally hurt by it a little bit, but I was just like, whatever. So I kind of moved on. And then, 6-7 years later, without any thought of anything, I was asked by the person who I met in Greece, who is an editor for the largest fitness publishing agency in America, to contribute to some chapters for a personal training manual. So anyways, this is due in November, and so I've kind of like crunch time because I've put everything off a lot in the summer. So I've not really gotten into some of these longer videos and stuff that I've wanted to share additional work on for Maui. So I am really slow at uploading. Anyways, academic writing always takes a lot longer time. So this is always another life purpose lesson, that things happen a lot of times when you least expect it, or at least when you let it go. It's like sometimes when you want something so bad, it just doesn't work out. And, life just ended up working out like 7-8 years later. And I actually wasn't going to take it because it's really, you get like a very small stipend for it. So by the time you look at your work versus the wage, it's probably about $5 an hour. But I thought, well, I might as well. The fitness industry has tanked with COVID, and I've lost a lot of work because of mandates. And if you're not aware, so I was one of the original fitness instructors that started off when the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation opened up a gym at their facility. And so basically I've been with this company for a long time, and I wasn't allowed to instruct there when things went back in person because I wasn't vaxxed. And not only did you need to be vaccinated, you actually had to be boosted as well. So like 2 shots wasn't even enough for the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, which is not a fucking shocker there. But I digress. It's anyways, that's, I've lost a lot of work because I live in an area, highly evolved egoic brain science freaks. So, yeah, anyways, I wanted to touch base because the natural health world has been getting hit really hardcore. A lot of people who've talked about alternative cancer therapies, they've had to take their videos down or they've gotten flagged by YouTube. YouTube is starting, it's all that algorithm voice recognition stuff where they're catching certain things with videos. So now they're making it even harder for you to access the information. And that is part of the reason why I uploaded that video regarding the Whole Foods removing the single tube homeopathic medicines. Now, that result came in, I believe, last week, and I think they only got about 15,000 signatures. And Whole Foods, I guess they lost. So Whole Foods said that they are not changing their business decision, that they are removing those things. I don't know if I talked about this like earlier in the summer, in the spring, but Pharmaca, that was kind of a local regional alternative health pharmacy out here in the Seattle area. And I believe there were some locations across the country, like in Portland, maybe Salt Lake City. I do think there was one in Chicago. They were actually bought out by Medley, which is a pharmaceutical company. And Medley drove Pharmaca down into bankruptcy. So I don't know if Medley was just unstable from the beginning and bought them out. You never know what is kind of a coincidence versus an actual deliberate plan, like, oh, hey, let's just, dry. This pharmaceutical company is already doing shitty, so let's just go ahead and bring the alternative health down. So I actually don't shop at Whole Foods, especially after Jeff Bezos bought out Whole Foods, because I could tell and recognize the business plan and scam behind it. And I'll share an example. Say my father used to buy this certain type of cereal, an organic cereal, and say it was before Whole Foods switched over to Jeff Bezos, it was like $3.99. So when Jeff Bezos bought it over, all those prices decreased and it went down to about like $2.99 to $3.29. So if there was a sale, it was $3. If not, it was usually about $3.30. So the price of the cereal went down. At that same time, Whole Foods is pushing a lot of the Prime memberships, and I believe just like Amazon itself is no longer cheaper. It's the start of a business tactic that you're lowering the price, you're doing all this marketing, you're getting people looped in and sucked into buying this product. And then especially with something like Prime, when you have either the free shipping or the extra discounts, you get kind of accustomed and used to it. And basic research shows that any behavior change, it takes only 21 days to do that. So when you have people that are getting these extra discounts or this free shipping and all this other stuff for 6 months to 1 to 2 years, they're sucked into the system. They're sucked into that behavior change. They like it. And it's really hard to break out of that mold. So anyways, then after a couple years, maybe about 1 to 2 years of Bezos owning it, the cereal that my dad bought, it actually went up over $4, around like $4.49. Sometimes it went up to like $4.79. So to me, I was just like, this whole thing was like a scam from the start. Sorry, I look like shit today, but I was doing a lot of writing and I have my classes coming up, But yeah, I don't like it. I don't like Whole Foods, but I did not want Whole Foods to lose access to that, because we are losing access to a lot of those organic products, whether it's even just soaps and shampoos. Now that Pharmaca closed, that was like the main access point for people. And now that Whole Foods is taking things away, it's getting really, really difficult. I can only express thoughts based on Seattle that rent and everything went up so intensely for small businesses that many of these local apothecaries had to close or move out, or some of them ended up going online but didn't really sustain enough business to be able to maintain an online business. So I don't know what they've done. I knew one girl that did a lot of the apothecary stuff, and most of her income actually came from the Lavender Festival out in Sequim, Washington, where she sold a lot of lavender-based soaps and products and lavender syrup and things like that. So yeah, it's a scary time. It's also a time to really start ramping up the natural health. I've talked about it before. I am a genuine believer. You know, wellness and well-being is like a union or a synchronization of your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual bodies. So when you're eating foods that are closest to nature and you're finding stability in your mental state, and then you're feeling spiritual joy or fulfillment, you know, those things are so powerful that and you're, you know, you're moving away from all this bullshit consciousness from like the Matrix. It really is, it's, I don't want to say like you're untouchable. Like I got into a car accident in February, so maybe there were some lessons there, but, yeah, I just don't think dis-ease, which causes disease, that very rarely exists. I mean, shit happens to people, you know, especially under all of this radiation and Wi-Fi. We're all susceptible to getting sick a little bit more often. But I don't take supplements. And a lot of it is because of the really, I don't want to say a strict diet, because not even in my life, I still eat chocolate and stuff like that. So I just think it's really that union between the mind, the body, and the spirit, where a lot of people can be very physically healthy. Like a lot of girls in yoga and New Ageism, they're physically healthy, but they're so emotionally and mentally imbalanced or spiritually sick or unfulfilled that, it's like 2 of the 3 bodies are in chaos or in disharmony, and the body is like needing the supplementation to maintain homeostasis. So I want to actually talk about that in another video, but it is getting, we are at a pivotal point through censorship of the natural world, as well as all these shitbag elites that own these corporations are taking away the access to this. It's all because they want you sick and on fucking pharmaceuticals. So this is a very critical time to really start putting your foot down into the natural world. And maybe that is just getting barefoot and walking in the grass, like all those douchebag witches that, walk in the grass to get more energy before they do all their rituals. So yeah, that's about it. Sorry, I look like crap. I'm in the middle of 19,000 things, and I hope to get more videos up for Maui and other stuff. All right, friends, thank you, and see you later. Bye-bye.